Good morning, class. How are you today? Despite of our recent situation, we will never stop learning. And I believe today is another day of learning. Are you ready? Before anything else, let us pray first before we start this class.
I trust Him. I trust Him. And I believe You're my healer. I believe You are all I need. When I believe, oh, I believe You're my portion. I believe You're more than enough for me. Jesus, You're all I need.
What was our last topic? Yes, Mary. Yes, that's right. For our motivation, I have here some pictures of some famous public speakers. You are going to guess who they are and tell something about them. We have the first picture. Nick Vujicic. The second picture. Les Brown. And the third picture. Lloyd Luna. What can you say about them? Tell something about your insights or perspectives with regards to those pictures that you have seen. Very good. These men are all public speakers on their own unique ways. And now, let us proceed to our main topic. Our lesson for today is all about public speaking. Do you want to be an excellent and well-known public speaker someday? Nice! Very impressive spirit. What is public speaking? Public speaking entails delivering a speech in front of a large audience in a formal situation. It can be defined as communicating ideas with others through words as well as actions. And of course, communicating with the audience directly in the mind of others with the use of facial expressions and the stimuli of words and movements. Do you understand? According to Aristotle, a persuasive speech has three appeals. We have the logos, or the logical arguments, pathos, or emotional appeals, and ethos, good character of the speaker. So the words logos, pathos, and ethos are all Greek words. Aristotle described ethos as persuasion through character as to make a speaker worthy of credence. I have here the 5 canons of rhetoric. Effective communication and presentation is something that humans have been studying for millennia. These are skills that can be improved with both knowledge and theory and with practice. Cicero is regarded as being one of Rome's greatest orators. The ancient Greeks and Romans were particularly interested in oratory and communication. Several of their surviving texts detail the 5 major canons of rhetoric. In fact, the 5 canons of rhetoric have been credited to the Roman orator, senator, and consul Cicero. He is believed to have written them in about 50 BC. The 5 canons of rhetoric are simply the 5 skills that individuals need to have to be great at communication. While these canons date from a long time ago, they are still relevant for anyone looking to create and deliver effective communications today. We'll look at each of them in turn. First, we have the invention. It is the process of coming up with what you want to say to persuade your audience of your view. What are the key messages and points that will help you to convince your audience based from the point of your view? Second, we have the arrangement. It is the process of structuring your content. You need to put all great things you thought of it in the invention stage into a good order so that they work together, and it will help you to land your message and persuade your audience. Third is the style. It is the process of choosing language and constructing your presentation so as to create an emotional response. This is the pathos part of rhetorical triangle. The fourth one is the memory. It relates to remembering enough so that you can present fully and fluently without notes. This was essential in the Roman era when the canons were written and orators needed to speak for hours at a time. While it's perhaps slightly less important now, it's still a very useful skill. Lastly, we have the delivery. It is the last of the 5 canons of rhetoric. It involves using all the tools available to you to effectively communicate. Can you follow? Very good. And now let us proceed to the 5 elements of public speaking. These are 5 basic elements of public speaking that are described in this theory. We have the communicator, the message, medium, audience, and effect. Okay, let's analyze it. To become a better speaker, use the following strategy. We have plan appropriately, practice, engage with your audience, pay attention to body language, think positively, cope with your nerves, watch recordings of your speeches. If you speak well in public, it can help you get a job or promotion, raise awareness for your team or organization, and educate others. The more you push yourself to speak in front of others, the better you'll become, and the more confidence you'll have. The 4 factors that affect public speaking are mental, verbal, vocal, and visual. It was then mentioned by Dave Finley, some do's or don'ts you have to do or do not do during public speaking. Good communication is essential to science. Oral presentations are a traditional and heavily used means of scientific communication. A working scientist may hear hundreds of technical talks in any given year and may be called upon to give many as well. Public speaking is an essential tool of the active researcher, yet an amazing number of the talks we hear are far less effective than they should be. We've all suffered through boring, droning, sleep fest that disguised what really was exciting science. On the other hand, we've also seen well-delivered, energetic talks that made exciting something that we thought would be deathly dull. The first thing we have to remember in public speaking, we have to plan the talk or planning your talk. Do they decide what the purpose of your talk really is? What is the take-home message you want to give your audience? Organize your talk accordingly, focusing sharply on your intended message. Do prepare a talk that will fill within the time limit you're given. That includes allowing time for questions from the audience. Rehearse with a stopwatch if necessary. Don't forget the studies show an audience can remember only 3 or 4 things you present in a talk. Don't distract from your message by including peripheral topics or excessive arcane detail. Do not forget that any lecture is a performance. You must work to get your message across. I have here some basic things that we should remember in public speaking. Do show some enthusiasm and energy. If you're not excited about your topic, what should the audience be? Of course, we have do face your audience. If you need to see your slides, then look either at the overhead projector in front of you or at the screen on the computer running your presentation. It's not only rude to turn your back on your audience, but also means you're speaking into screen or the wall and making it hard for them to hear you. Do speak loudly enough to be heard by the entire audience, even those in the back row. Do not keep jumping back and forth through your slides. Either reorganize your talk to avoid this or duplicate the needed slide in the second place where it fits. Do not start to change a slide, then stop halfway. Either change it or leave it. Do not fidget nervously in front of your audience. Make sure your movements and gestures are all purposeful. Do not stick your hands in your pockets, hook your thumbs under your belt, or engage in other creative directions or diversions. Also to take note the way we use the wordings and phrasing. Do clearly define any terms that may not be familiar to your audience. Remember, they're probably not all from the same specialty as you. Do keep acronym to an absolute minimum. They're like speed bumps to listeners unfamiliar with them. Do not start sentences with so, and do not end sentences with right or okay. Don't apologetically introduce a topic with just real quick, briefly, or similar words. What that tells your audience is that this isn't really important or relevant, but I'm going to inflict it on you anyway. Any question? Okay, very good. I know that every one of you learned something about public speaking. And now for your activity, I will be playing a short recorded public speech and you will write your observation on how the speaker delivered their speech. Are you ready? You all look so much interested for today's discussion, and that's very, very impressive. For your evaluation, you're going to create an essay worth 15 points. You have to create your own ways or techniques on how to become a good public speaker. I will give you 15 minutes to do it. The rubrics are content 10 points, organization 5 points, style 5 points, for the total of 20 points. You may start now. And of course, for your assignment, deliver a 3-minute speech discussing the situation of our society nowadays. It must be a persuasive speech. You can send your work on Monday at my email account albertodeluna441@gmail.com. And the rubrics are organization for 25 points, the topic knowledge for 15 points, the audience adaptation for 10 points, and of course, do not forget the grammar for 10 points. So all in all, you're going to get 50 points. Do you have any question regarding to your assignment? There being none, so I hope that everybody learned something today, and I am hoping that someday all of you will become a greatest and very well-known public speakers, not just in our country, but for the entire world. God bless you all. That's all for today, class. Stay safe.